I'm Rob from Barefoot Gaming, and today it is time to review the HTC Vive Cosmos Elite. So let's do this. Believe it or not, I had to record that intro like 4 times. I kept calling it the Cosmos Pro. It is not the Pro, it is the Elite. I'm going to try to not screw it up in the review. Now, these reviews are always a little bit tricky because there's 2 different markets that are watching these kind of videos. You have one market of people that have never had a VR headset that are trying to decide, and you have people that have an existing headset that are trying to decide if they want to upgrade. I'm going to try to not drown you in details, but a lot of these details are very important, so bear with me and let's hit this. Now, the Cosmos Elite has gone back to lighthouse tracking. If you don't know what that is putting 2 base stations into the corners of your room, and they sweep the entire room with lasers. You have receptors on your headset itself and on your controllers, and that is what determines where everything is located. So you don't have cables running from the base stations to your computer, they just need power. All of the computation, all of the processing cycles that determine where you are is done in your computer through the cable on your headset. And then it's done wirelessly from your controllers to your headset as well. The neat thing about this is I find it to be incredibly accurate tracking. It doesn't require lighting at all. In fact, I often play in near complete darkness, just because if you get any light bleed out of the bottom, it's a little bit of a pet peeve of mine. However, it does require installing these lighthouses in the corner. Now, I myself have mounted them like with screws. I've actually fished the wire into the wall, dropped them through, and run them to a plug. Louis, who I also do reviews with, he uses 3M strips, and then he just sticks them to the wall, and he is... I myself have felt a little bit nervous watching him do it, but he brings them all over the place and has never had any issue, and they're reusable. You can just pull them down and take them off. But that is something you have to know. The Cosmos Elite uses lighthouse tracking. Now, I was a little bit surprised that the Cosmos Elite, the kit that was sent to me from HTC, came with 1.0 lighthouses, not 2.0 lighthouses. Now, the difference that makes is 1.0 lighthouses have a restriction of 15 by 15 feet. You can't really track an area larger than that. You can, but you have to use a special cable, and you really have to watch occlusion, and when you get into the corners, it can be a little tricky. If you're using 2.0 trackers, you can track up to like 32 feet by 32 feet. Plus, you can add a bunch more like extra 2.0 lighthouses. You can have up to 4, I think. So if you have tricky corners and stuff, but if you have a regular rectangular or square room, 1.0 lighthouses will be fine. And most people don't have a full 15 by 15 feet that they can actually dedicate to it, so that's generally not an issue anyway. But again, something you need to know if you're buying the kit instead of just the headset. Next up, let's get to resolution, because resolution is super important. And I'm going to compare. I'm going to do a comparison just because the numbers by themselves don't mean a lot. I'm going to compare the Rift S resolution, I'm going to compare the Cosmos Elite, and I'm going to compare the Valve Index. Let's see how these things actually, how the LCDs actually compare to each other. Now, the Index and the Cosmos Elite both use dual LCD screens, whereas the Rift S uses a single. Now, I mention that because if you have an IPD or an interpupillary distance, that the space between the blacks of your eyes, that falls outside of the average, and the average is listed at 63.5. That's what Oculus has theirs set to, which gives you like 61.5 to 65 point something, I think they say is their ideal range. Anything outside of that, and your eyes are really going to strain. So both the Cosmos Elite and the Index both let you adjust that. You can move the screens back and forth, so you can get as perfect of an image as you can possibly get. Back to resolution. The Cosmos Elite sits at 2880 by 1700 when you combine them together, the 2 different screens. Those sit at 90 Hz for the refresh. The Rift S is at 2560 by 1400 at an 80 Hz refresh. And the Valve Index, again, like I mentioned, 2 LCDs like the Cosmos Elite, is at 2880 by 1600 compared to the 1700 on the Elite. However, the refresh sits at 120 to 144. Now, there are a bunch of different terms that get brandished about when you're talking about VR hardware. You've got screen door, you've got sweet spot, you've got God rays. These are all things that actually matter. And what the sweet spot is the perfect spot when the headset sits in front of you that everything looks perfectly clear and perfectly crisp. Now, the Oculus Rift S, I would say, has the same field of view as the Cosmos Elite. So very, very similar. They're both listed at around 110 degrees. I'm going to say it's a little bit less. For sure, it's a little bit less on the Cosmos. On the Rift S, maybe it sits at 110 on a good day. However, on the Index, you're looking at upwards to 130 degrees. If you're familiar with mask face, when you spend some time in VR, generally you've got this pressure around your eyes, and what'll end up happening is you kind of get like a red mark. You won't get that on the Cosmos Elite, ever. You might get a red mark on your forehead because the entire thing is set up to rest on your forehead kind of like roundish, and then you tighten up the strap on the back. Now, I have been doing VR for a long time, and I like to not feel the headset move at all. So with me, when I strapped into the Cosmos Elite, I still have to tighten it up quite a bit for it to not move, because the Cosmos Elite actually flips up. It's got a visor that'll flip up. Now, that will be very helpful for people that are actually playing seated, for example, that are at your PC and want to just have a quick access to the keyboard, or you just want to... For me, with the other headsets, I just lift them up and sit them on my head. But again, depending on the purpose, this might be a feature that might be really beneficial to you. Not for me, but might be for you. Now, there were two things I mentioned before that I didn't get into details of. We've got screen door and we've got God rays. Screen door is exactly what it sounds like. It's like you're standing in your front door looking into the world, but you're looking through a screen. And this happens because you're looking at a bunch of pixels on an LCD in front of you. The Cosmos Elite has pretty much none. I couldn't see screen door. So if screen door is a big deal, that is something to keep in mind for sure. God rays are when you have like white on a black or black on a white, when you have really contrasting colors, you get kind of like this glow. It's like a bloom. It's a little hard to describe. I'll see if I can find a picture that kind of shows God rays. And again, the Cosmos Elite was the best of the three for sure. The Cosmos Elite comes with the old tried and true HTC Vive wands. Now, there's a lot of hate out for these things, but something that they don't get credit for enough, in my opinion, is these things are tough. If, for example, you are an arcade operator, or if, for example, you have a lot of people playing your VR headset, the wands are tough. I have had people playing Gorn smash these into my ceiling, smash them in my walls. I have actually plastered up, not holes, but fairly decent marks. And all that's ever happened is I've had scuffs on the wands. They're super tough. Do I love them myself? No. If I'm playing VR, I don't like the wands anymore. They are super tough. They've got two-stage triggers. They've got lots of buttons. They've got the ability to grip. All fantastic, but they feel bulky to me now, which is funny because I feel that the Rift S controller is too small. However, when I look at the knuckles on the Index, this is my preference. And after, getting the wands working, I switched back over to the Index controllers, and I used those with my Cosmos for all the rest of the testing. Which, I should mention, the wands only work in 1.0, like the wands that they include only work with the 1.0 trackers. The headset itself works with 2.0 lighthouses, 2.0 base stations, no problem. So let's talk about audio. Now, I'm spoiled. This is almost a not fair comparison, because the Elite has really good headphones. They're the exact same headphones from the Deluxe audio strap. So these things are adjustable. There's a little clip on the top so you can slide them left and right, and then you snap them down into place. They sound really good as they're sitting against your ears. The Index headphones blow every other headphones that I have experienced out of the water. It feels more like it's happening in the room, but the Cosmos Elite headphones are still way better quality than most over-ear headphones that you're going to buy, plus you don't have to worry about actually having cables running that you can tangle your arms into, and they're a bajillion times better than anything that Oculus has piped down the sides. Now, having a range of people come through here and try VR, glasses is something you always have to consider, and glasses is something that the Cosmos Elite does better than any other headset that I've ever seen. And I don't know if it's because they designed it so that it flips up and flips down. If I wear these sunglasses that are maybe a little wider than your average glasses, and I strap into the Cosmos, there is zero pressure on the sides of my face. It's not pushing pressure. If I do that on the Index, it darn near hurts. If you want to wear glasses in the Cosmos Elite, honestly, I think unless they're super duper large glasses, you're not going to have any issue at all. So I'm almost done. There's only two more things I'm going to mention. The Cosmos Elite comes with Half-Life Alyx, which is a must-have game for VR, in my own opinion. We've got a review of that. It also comes with 6 months of Viveport Infinity. Now, if you don't know what Viveport Infinity is, it's an app that HTC has developed that's basically Netflix for games. So they add, they remove games. You have an option of, a smorgasbord of different games that you can play, where you don't have to buy as long as you're subscribing. You can download them and play them. Now, what's the last thing? This is a big one, and it's one that I mentioned because it's important, but I can't speak to, and I'll tell you why. Wireless. Nobody does wireless except HTC. So if you're looking for a wireless option, apparently the Cosmos works wireless. I haven't tried it. I have actually never tried wireless on any of the HTC products. I have heard from subscribers that it works really well. Now it's hard to make up your mind, super hard to decide between all the different specs, and if you have questions on any of the headsets or if there's anything I can do to help you in any way, leave them down below. I am not paid by any of these companies. I don't make any money from you buying any of this hardware. My only goal here is to hopefully clarify and make it easier for you to decide on your own. And there isn't a one size fits all here. It's not, this is the best headset. It's, this might be the best headset for you. I don't know. And that's it. That's the review for the Vive Cosmos Elite. The wireless thing could really be a game changer, and I wish I would have had the opportunity to try it out, because every VR headset I have tried is all front heavy, and it's because that's where all the LCDs are, right? It always kind of wants to lean forward, and having something else counterbalance it seems like a really good idea. And the fact that you wouldn't have a cable tying you down, that you don't have to watch about stepping over, and you do it kind of intuitively after a little while. The cable doesn't really seem like an issue, but that level of freedom of just being totally free, and if it works well, fantastic. That could really put this apart from everybody else. That is the review. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment if you want to see more of our stuff. I love hearing from you. We will talk to you again real soon. See ya.